Can you juggle?
We can try.
No, I can't.
I've never actively tried, I don't think.
Okay, try. I'll catch them. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Hey everybody, it's Justin.
And I'm Brooke.
And we are here in the Delish test kitchen. Brooke, I love holidays that are focused on food.
Yeah, of course.
So like your Thanksgivings, and in this case Passover, which is both about like the enjoyment of food, but also the foods that you can't enjoy for a little while.
Of course.
And a big part of that is Charoset, which is basically like the Passover equivalent of cranberry sauce. It's that condiment on the table that gives you a little bit of acidity, a little bit of zing, and adds a little bit of depth to what you eat. And we're gonna make it super fast, super easy.
So I've never celebrated Passover before. What is seder?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Start from the top. What is seder? What is a seder plate? And what exactly is charoset?
So seder is literally the Hebrew word for order, and it's because the dinner has like a pretty specific order in it. Literally like when you drink wine, when you wash your hands, when you eat certain foods, and those certain foods are also laid out publicly so everyone can see. It's called a seder plate, and it's kind of like a PowerPoint presentation of like different symbols within the holiday. It's actually like really cool. Judaism is like weirdly very mystical. It's really amazing. One of those foods on the plate is charoset. Jews were slaves in Egypt. They built the pyramids, and then Moses helped them leave, let my people go, all that business. And the charoset represents the mortar in between the bricks that built the pyramids. It's a very dark holiday.
That's very deep.
It's very deep and dark, and there's a lot of layers, but I have a lot of positive memories for it. And it generally is like people enjoy doing it, especially because you're supposed to drink like between 3 and 5 glasses of wine over the whole dinner.
Well, from what goes in it, it sounds like some really delicious mortar.
Absolutely. Honestly. I would eat the pyramids.
Oh my god.
But it's a relatively simple recipe. The only part of this that requires like any level of effort other than chopping and stirring in a bowl is toasting nuts. And we could buy toasted roasted nuts from the store, but it's better when you do it here.
Yeah, see, I've never made charoset before, but I can toast a walnut with the best of them, so
absolutely,
I can help.
Let's do it.
Toasting nuts is very simple, but it's definitely something that if you look away for a second and you take your nose off of it, they can go a little bit too far. But we're not gonna do that today. I'm gonna show you how to toast nuts perfectly every time. I'm gonna toast some walnuts for the charoset, but this method is something you can use for any recipe that you have toasted nuts for. If it's pecans, peanuts, pistachios, almonds, whatever you're toasting, this should work for you. All we're gonna do is get a small to medium-ish skillet, toast about a cup of these walnuts over moderate heat, so like between medium low, medium high. And you wanna just toast them until you can start to smell them. Your nose will be the best way to tell if your nuts are actually done. Obviously you can see them, and if they're like burnt, you should know that they're burnt because you can see that, but your nose is definitely the best indicator. You should start to smell nuttiness, like super duper nuttiness, so those oils start to come out and get really fragrant. Let me show you guys what we're looking for in our toasted walnuts. So you can see some of the surface got a little bit brown there. But most of all, I'm telling you, the smell is what's really telling me everything I need to know about whether or not these nuts are ready to go. It smells so fragrant in here. I'm gonna chop these up. For charoset, you want the nuts to be on the smaller side because you want to be able to have a clean bite on a spoon where you get like some apples and you get a little bit of raisin and you get the nuts all in one bite without one being much bigger than the other. Other than that, it's really kind of personal preference. So if you want them a little bit chunkier, do your thing. If you want them super fine, you can also do that too. These nuts smell like popcorn.
Do they? Yeah. They really do. Oh my God. Well, also, it's so funny it's to see you chop these because my grandma, she would actually use a food processor for both the apples and the walnuts, and it become almost like a spreadable vibe. It's really good. But I actually, personally, don't tell my grandma, I do like a little bit of a chunkier charoset. I want a little bit of texture.
See, why would you put that on me?
Well, it's not on you. It's
now
on me.
If I ever meet your grandma, that's all I'm gonna think about.
That's fair. But now we're gonna deal with the apples, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Apple time.
Can you juggle?
We can try.
No, I can't.
I've never actively tried, I don't think.
Okay, try. I'll catch them. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
I always had one in my hand, so I don't think that counts.
For a recipe like this, we kind of want to approach it like an apple pie. We want a good balance of tart and sweet apples.
Okay, so we don't want mealy apples either.
No, nothing like no Red Delicious, no Macintosh. We want something with a bite. So like you want your Fuji's, your Pink Ladies.
A Gala maybe?
Gala, Honey Crisp, even a Brayburn.
But I noticed these are all red.
Yes, no Granny Smiths. They're too tart. They're too acidic, and that's not really what we want.
Oh, there's not like a reason for it? Like a deep reason?
No.
Just because you...
It's preference, and also because I think I don't love raw Granny Smith.
That's
honestly.
fair.
And it's like more traditional to do red.
Okay.
We're gonna peel up the apples fully. Some people like to keep it on. I kind of like them nude. Then we're gonna chop them into like little 1/4-inch dice. We want these pretty fine. Although I know some people who do a little bit of a chunkier Charoset.
But it should just about match what I did for the walnuts, right?
Absolutely.
Or raisin size, I think is a good
That's a good vibe.
rule of thumb
Smart.
because the raisins you're not processing, you're not chopping at all.
And we're gonna be zesting a lemon later on, so you can actually steal some of that juice. Squeeze it over your apples, not a ton. We don't want to flavor it with lemon juice, but we just want to keep them from oxidizing. At the end of the day, we are putting in wine, so it doesn't super matter, but people don't like brown apples. That was basically just all the work of the recipe. Now we essentially just get to assemble it.
So you made me do the hard part.
Oh, I did. I chopped and peeled. There's no hard parts here. Into the bowl with all of our beautiful apples, we're going to place the chopped and toasted nuts that Brooke prepared so beautifully.
Thank you.
Some golden raisins. You could use regular. I kind of like the look of golden raisins, and I actually think they taste a little better. Maybe
That's a little controversial.
I mean, maybe I'm also just imagining it, but they kind of feel more fancy, and I think they taste better.
They definitely feel a little bit more fancy.
Absolutely.
I'll give
They
you
have
that.
gold. Golden is in the name.
It's literally.
Then we're gonna add in some lemon zest, and some honey, and some cinnamon. And then for probably the most important ingredient in Charoset, and that is Manischewitz, Concord grape wine. It's the sort of thing where I honestly wonder if it's like wine product, because it doesn't seem like it's wine, but there is 11% alcohol in here.
Is there wine on the label?
Yeah,
Does
of
it say
course.
wine?
I think so. Well, I don't know if it actually says wine anywhere.
It's giving wine product.
Yeah.
Delicious nonetheless, though. I do like Manischewitz.
For those who are not used to this product, this is an incredibly sweet, amazing, enjoyable wine that I have a lot of amazing nostalgia for. This basically tastes like grape juice. It's really delicious, and it's essentially what makes Charoset, especially Ashkenazi Charoset, what it is. We don't put a lot of sweetener in this. A lot of the flavor, especially a lot of the sweetness, is coming from this.
And that gives it some color, too, yeah?
Absolutely. It's going to make everything a little bit darker. It's really beautiful.
Now, what if I did not want to use wine?
You could absolutely use grape juice. I'm going to almost mandate that you use Kedem grape juice. That's like a very other Jewish brand that I also associate a lot with the holiday, but you can use anything.
Okay.
You could use a different red wine here. I would urge you to do maybe a dessert wine or like Franzia. You don't want anything expensive. It should be very sweet and very cheap.
So, do people drink Manischewitz with Seder dinner? Or is it
Absolutely.
like, okay.
I mean, listen, it's not the thing you want to have like 5 glasses of, but people will kind of do it out of tradition.
Hey, you don't know me.
But I don't know. Some people love it. It's not as much my thing, but we can give it a try.
Let's see.
Try the product before you use it.
Cheers.
There's no way that has alcohol in it. It tastes like very sharp Concord grape juice. It's very good.
This is literally communion wine.
No way. Is it as
This
sweet as
is
this?
exactly what communion wine
Fair enough.
tastes
They shouldn't let it taste that good. So this is why if you're cooking for mostly children or you're sober, you can literally do a 1-for-1 swap with grape juice. Last thing is just gonna be a little bit of salt, balance everything together.
Of course.
And then just mix it all up.
Can we eat it yet?
Nope. You gotta let it sit for at least a half an hour. That's gonna let the apples soak. It's gonna like hydrate the raisins a little bit with the wine. It's really yummy. I'd say minimum 30 minutes. My grandma literally makes it like 2 days before. So you can really go as long as you want. It's only gonna make those flavors weld together a little bit more.
So my patience will be rewarded.
True, but you wanna cover it, get it in the fridge. It's beginning to feel a lot like Pesach. Everywhere you go. Look how beautiful this looks.
That color is actually very popping.
Yeah, like the little bit of the wine that's sunken in and
I
the
like
golden raisins. This is a color and a picture of my childhood. I can't wait for you to try it. It is famously a little hard to get it on, and especially because matzah tends to break. You can use little fingers
I gotta
too.
do like an aggressive like
Do
dig.
it. Oh, wow, that was really good form.
Nice.
That was great form. Ready? Cheers.
Boop.
Bam. Simple, yet so good.
I wish I had something to compare that to, but I don't.
No, it's this very, very singular Jewish condiment that works really well. Like imagine that, like next to a piece of like super garlicky fish to like balance out the vibes. You know what I mean?
I can definitely see the cranberry sauce comparison though. For
Yeah.
sure. That's delicious. It is not too sweet, which I like. I thought it was gonna be really sweet because the Manischewitz was so sweet, but it's not too sweet.
We're getting that bittersweet cranberry vibe because the nuts were toasted. So that extra char is adding a little bit of like that bittery texture flavor that's
And that
really,
lemon
really
in
good.
there too.
To be clear, this is just one style. of Charoset, the Sephardi way has like figs and dates and lots of dried fruit. It's like many Sephardi foods, it's a little bit better, if I'm honest with you, and I'm an Ashkenazi Jew. So quick rundown of how you would build a Seder plate. You put your Charoset down, you put a little parsley, that's karpas, that represents renewal, new life. It's a bright leafy green on the table.
Okay.
But we then do dip it in salt water later in the Seder to remind us of the tears of our ancestors.
Of course.
You know, real light. So then we have the maror, that's the bitter herbs, also another thing to remind us of the strife. And you make a little sandwich with the maror and the Charoset together, that like spicy and the sweet together. Woof. Then we have the shank bone or the zeroa, typically lamb, but we went for chicken here because it's what we had. We had a rotisserie chicken in the fridge. Represents the Paschal lamb, the sacrifices that the Jews used to make to God, and also the blood that goes over the door, stuff like that. Then we have the chatzeret. It's very funny, there's 2 types of lettuce on here. It's just another bitter herb. I think they just like it because it's pretty, and you get to make another type of traditional sandwich. It's genuinely, it's like, I don't have a better explanation of it. Finally, we have the beitzah, which represents like the circle of life and everything coming back. It is a spring holiday after all.
Okay.
Typically they're boiled or
also
roasted.
A little bit of renewal too, like the parsley, a little bit of
absolutely
rebirth. Last question, what does this mean?
Pesach. It just means the holiday.
Amazing.
Passover.
That's pretty straightforward.
Was that a good lesson?
This was a great
lightning
lesson.
round?
I feel like I could at least assist somebody in preparing a Seder.
Absolutely. Now, for the Charoset, I tend to not have a ton left over. People really like it, but I did have this genius idea while I was like sitting in bed, just thinking about how I could use this as a leftover.
Let's hear it.
And lightning struck. Passover Charoset pancakes. And it's not using flour. It's still not leavened with a leavener, and it's not using any wheat, grain, whatever. They're kosher for Passover, and they're absolutely delicious. Let's get into it. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take a medium, like nonstick skillet, get it over medium heat, put some Charoset on that. We're gonna wanna cook this down a little bit so it gets a little sugary, a little caramelized, so it's like an apple mixture you'd add to a pancake. It's kind of like blueberry or like an apple walnut pancake. We're gonna take that out, wipe out our skillet, and we're gonna work on our pancake batter. It's gonna be matzah meal, cornstarch, a little bit of sugar, a pinch of salt, a bit of milk, oil, and 2 egg yolks. Whip it up until it's all combined. And then we're gonna actually whip up 3 egg whites. Because we're not using a leavening agent, we need something to provide a little bit of lift and air in our pancakes. So you're gonna use a hand mixer, get those egg whites to a stiff peak. Then very carefully fold them into our pancake batter until it's combined, just combined. Even if there's a little bit of egg whites mixed in, that's fine, they'll hydrate. So back in that medium skillet, add a little bit of butter to the pan, get it over medium heat, then add like 1/3 cup to 1/2 cup of mixture, flatten it out into a pancake, and cook the first side, just until some bubbles start to form up top and the bottom is nice and golden brown. About halfway through that cook time, you're gonna wanna add some of your Charoset to the top. Then once that's set, flip it over, cook off the rest. Then we can make the rest of our pancakes. Any pancakes that are finished should be left in like a 200, 250 degree oven to keep warm. You could serve them with anything that you usually serve pancakes with, butter, syrup. You could even go like full Sephardi moment and use a little bit of pomegranate molasses. That would be really delicious. I'm actually low-key very, very excited about this.
Very curious to see what this is about to taste like.
Let's eat it.
Dink.
First of all, I think you might be able to tell that it's not a full regular pancake. However, once you were told that it's a kosher Passover pancake, you'd be thrilled. I truly don't think that anyone would be upset at that at all, and they'd probably think like, this is ridiculous for being kosher for Passover, because most of that stuff that's made kosher for Passover is terrible.
But also, if you made this for me, and obviously I'm not keeping kosher,
Yeah.
I would not be mad at this huge plate of pancakes.
Not at all. And using the Charoset like you would any other fruit filling for a pancake, gotta be honest with myself, I think it's low-key brilliant. I love being able to share my culture with you. It's so silly, but it really does make me feel good. And so if you want to try more traditional recipes and a little less traditional recipes, head on over to delish.com.